Welcome back. Hi, Ryan. It's great that we get to spend some moments together, just gathered in and connected with each other and with God in this time. And so let's get anchored. Today we're going to participate in an excellent object lesson. But before I show you what we're going to do with these eggs, I am wondering if you can guess what is in here. I'll give you some hints. I shake it on my food, it brings out flavor. I especially like to use this when I'm making soup. Sometimes I put it on my eggs, after they're cooked, of course. But I hope you guessed salt. And today I just want to talk a little bit about salt. Salt has some really, really cool properties. In fact, do you know that salt, it brings out flavor in food, but it's also something that our bodies need in order to stay healthy. Now, we don't need too much of it and we don't need too little of it. We need just the right amount of salt. And it helps our body keep a balance that is good for our muscles and our heart. So we need it in order to stay healthy. Salt actually is also really good for healing things. In fact, if you have blisters or sore feet, you can put a lot of salt in some water and soak your feet. If you've had a sore throat, maybe you've even tried gargling with salt water. There's healing properties in salt. And then here in Winnipeg, we have had many days where there's lots and lots of ice, and salt is used for safety. We spread out salt and it helps melt the ice and makes it safe for us to walk on. Salt also preserves. So I really, really like to make pickles, and you can't make pickles if you don't have salt. Salt helps keep things from molding and going bad. And I was thinking about salt and all of the things that it does when I was reading a couple of verses from the Bible that Jesus said. And he was talking to his followers. And so I think that we can hear him talking to us today when he says, "You are the salt of the world." Well, before we think about maybe what that means, I brought two things with me, 2 containers of water. And I want us to just do a little experiment and see, does salt make a difference? Does salt make a difference? So in both of these, I have water, and then I've brought an egg. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this egg, and because I want to maybe save this egg for cooking later, I'm going to be gentle, and I'm going to put this in the water, and I want us to see what happens to this egg. I guess it's kind of like another episode of Will It Float? But when I put it in there, this egg went right to the bottom. There it is. It's on the bottom. So now I'm going to move that aside, and I'm going to bring this one right here, and this one we're going to do some different things to it. We're going to add a lot of salt. Now I'm adding salt, but there's a lot that's needed for this. We're going to stir it into the water. We're going to let that salt just get all soaked up by the water or dissolved. And now we have salty water. We have salty water. And we're going to see. The question today is, does salt make a difference? Does salt make a difference to this water? Does salt make a difference to what will happen to this egg? Now, if you remember, this egg without the water, it went right to the ground or right to the bottom. Now, let's put this egg in the salty water and let's see, does salt make a difference? I don't know if you can see it, but that egg didn't go down at all. That egg is right up here. Salt made a big difference. Salt, look that's the only thing that's different between these two containers of water. This one has no salt, this one has salt. And it made all the difference in the world for this egg. So when Jesus says, you are the salt of the world, he is saying you need to make a difference. Salt makes a big difference. Salt is used for healing. He wants us to be a part of healing the hurts of this world. Salt makes a difference in the flavor. He wants us to help show the goodness of his world. Salt makes a difference in safety, and he wants us to make a difference in helping to keep each other safe and to point to the one who really makes all the difference, and that is God. Salt preserves. See, it's our job as salt of the world to share what Jesus said with other people, to share so that they can come to understand who God is, so that they can come to understand the difference that it makes when we have Jesus in our life. So today we have a challenge. You see, the salt made a big difference in this, but it was only once it was let out of the shaker. If I just kept the salt like this, it wouldn't have the opportunity to make a difference in this container of water. So what are you going to do today as salt of the world? How are you going to get out of your salt shaker and make a difference